Welcome to this video. Will the ZBCN coin continue to rise? We will analyze this. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and please watch until the end to understand. When we look closely at the chart, it is clear that the price movement is progressing in a manner that is quite consistent with the classic Elliott wave theory. In particular, when the current structure is examined, it appears that the market is currently in the third wave. This situation can be considered a very promising and positive development from a technical analysis perspective. This is because, in Elliott wave theory, the third wave is typically the strongest, longest, and most voluminous wave. Therefore, the current price being within the third wave indicates a highly significant and attention-grabbing opportunity zone for investors. When we take a closer look at the progression of this third wave, we see that the price has reached the 1618 level when measured against Fibonacci expansion levels. This level is a critical and important threshold in technical analysis. According to Elliott theory, the third wave is typically at least 1618 times the length of the first wave. This ratio is extremely valuable in showing how strong the momentum in the market and investors' upward expectations are. The price reaching this level indicates that the third wave is progressing in a healthy and strong manner. Moreover, if the momentum observed so far continues, it is highly likely that the price will not stop at this level, but will reach even higher levels. Another important Fibonacci level to consider at this point is the 272 level. If the price manages to break above the current 1618 resistance, the next target zone from a technical perspective will be the 272 level. This level emerges as a logical target zone both in terms of Fibonacci expansion and when compared to past wave movements. The 272 level represents an area where the price will continue its upward movement with even stronger momentum, and the upward trend will deepen. This situation will be highly valuable for investors, not only in terms of price targets, but also in terms of restoring confidence. When evaluated within the framework of Elliott wave theory, the third wave is always the strongest wave in the market, where the most decisive upward movements are observed. In this wave, positive news in the market generally increases. Buy-side trading volume shows a significant increase, and investors begin to embrace the upward movement more. If the price has reached an important level such as 1618 and manages to stay above it without encountering strong resistance, this indicates that the market's upward appetite has increased further and that the next target of 272 has become technically feasible. At this stage, it is important to pay attention to how the price reacts to the 1618 level. If the price breaks above this level with strong volume and solid candlestick patterns, this not only indicates that the third wave will continue, but also that there is deep confidence in the market. This is because investors are aware of the psychological and technical significance of this level, and such breakouts often lead to new investors entering the market. This contributes to the acceleration of the third wave's momentum. Additionally, if the price breaks the 1618 level, a short-term retest, pullback movement, may be expected following the breakout. This movement means that the price will test the new support level and then resume its upward movement. This presents a great opportunity for investors to buy again. If the price continues on its path after a technically sound retest, reaching the next target of 272 becomes much more possible and realistic. One of the most important things investors should pay attention to while following this process is whether the supportive structures that will ensure the continuity of the third wave are forming. In other words, the price advancing with higher lows alongside intermediate corrections proves that this third wave is healthy and sustainable. However, we cannot base our analysis solely on the Elliott wave. Let's also look at other metrics. Stay tuned. Upon careful examination of the chart, it is evident that the current price is approaching a critical threshold. The price movement, which has been steadily advancing within an upward trend for a long time, is currently facing an important technical barrier. This resistance level is not just an ordinary horizontal level, it is also a strong resistance zone with psychological and historical significance, closely monitored by investors, tested numerous times in the past, and playing a decisive role in determining the market's direction. The price approaching this resistance is a highly positive development from a technical standpoint, and also clearly indicates an increase in upward expectations in the market. The area just above the resistance zone is an extremely attractive target, a new 88th or all-time high price level. This level is not merely a symbolic point from a technical analysis perspective. It also declares that the market has a strong, bullish structure, that all previous peaks have been surpassed, and that investor psychology has fully shifted to the positive side. Therefore, if the price breaks through the current resistance zone, it will pave the way for a new AT8 and also multiply confidence in the market. Markets typically behave in two ways when approaching previous peaks. Either they retreat under strong selling pressure, or they accelerate after a strong breakout. Considering the current chart structure and positive technical indicators, the second scenario appears more likely. This is because the price has been moving within a classic uptrend, forming successive higher lows and higher highs before reaching this resistance level. Such structures are known to support resistance breakouts. Another notable factor is that the price has been consolidating within an upward sloping flag or pennant formation as it approaches this level. Such consolidations are generally considered continuation patterns and result in sharp price movements when the breakout occurs. This indicates that if the price breaks through the current resistance, it will not only signal a short-term rise, but also a strong signal that the long-term trend will continue to strengthen. For investors, such resistance levels are important turning points in decision-making processes. This is because these levels are typically areas where stop-loss orders, sell orders, and pending buy orders are concentrated. However, this time, the structure appears slightly different. The price has already attracted investors' attention with its strong and decisive movements before reaching this level. Market participants may be inclined to increase their positions after the breakout, rather than retreating at this point. Following such breakouts, a short-term retest movement is typically observed. That is, after breaking above the previous resistance level, the price tests that level as support and then resumes its upward movement. If this scenario unfolds, a technically sound structure would be established. Such a development would instill significant confidence in both short-term traders and those with a medium to long-term outlook. In summary, this strong resistance level just above the price is a critical threshold for the market. Sustaining above this level could trigger the price to enter a new price discovery process and redefine the all-time high. This could mark the beginning of a strong and sustainable upward trend with investor psychology fully aligned in a bullish direction. The MACD indicator is one of the most reliable and frequently used technical indicators for assessing market momentum and trend direction. Upon examining the current chart, a promising development that can be considered technically positive is evident on the MACD side. In particular, the fact that the MACD lines have crossed in the lower regions is an extremely important signal, as it indicates that the downward momentum in the market has weakened and a buying momentum has begun. Such crossings often appear before price movements and provide important clues to investors. The point where the MACD crosses the signal line indicates that the price has begun to form a bottom at low levels and that the likelihood of an upward trend developing is growing stronger. This crossover is not merely a change in the indicator level, it is also an important technical signal indicating a shift in market psychology. When the MACD lines intersect below the zero level and begin to move upward from there, this situation can often signal the onset of a strong and sustained upward trend. We should always monitor the MACD. Yes, friends, I hope you liked the video. If you subscribe to my channel and like the video, more videos will be coming. Be careful in your investments, analyze the risks correctly, and always take strategic steps. I will be with you with different analyses, investment opportunities, and technical information in my videos. I wish you all a lot of profit. See you soon.